Hi, everyone. Glad everyone could make it here today. Just one quick note here, particularly on the left-hand side of the room. I can see people kind of looking around a little bit with the talking in the background. So one of the areas that we wanted to improve upon this year's conference was providing translation service for our Spanish-speaking only team members. So that's what you hear in the background. Translators are doing a great job, I'm sure of it, translating everything and transmitting it. So thank you for putting up with hearing dual languages there, but hopefully it's appreciated. So I'm here to talk about our operation strategy, kind of moving towards Vision 2018. Under my umbrella, the warehouse falls under my direction here. So because that's such a big part of who we are, Bill was gracious enough to take that and present that to you. So I'm not necessarily going to be touching on anything with the warehouse here due to Bill talking about it already. So I'll just kind of be talking in general about things that we're going to be focusing in on. So operations are often depicted as one complex set of gears and springs, which naturally makes sense. In order for anything that has multiple moving parts to work efficiently, they have to rely on each department or gear to move in unison with another. This allows for that operational efficiency to take place. However, you have to perform routine maintenance to the gear panel. You need to make sure that each gear is sufficiently greased up, any buildup and gunk is removed, and that each spoke is still perfectly aligned in the right position to allow for that operational efficiency. Operations are a fluid process. What works today doesn't necessarily mean it'll work tomorrow, and you could see that through Bill's presentation. We've changed a lot to help service our customers better. Here at Protect-A-Bed, we have a number of different departments that work together to execute the task at hand. Outperforming the competition, being execution champions, and being the most trusted vendor to our customer partners. Each and every one of you here today is part of that smaller team within Protect-A-Bed. And while all departments don't necessarily talk to each other on every day, what each team does contributes to the execution that the other teams have to execute on. Being in my position, I'm fortunate enough to be able to see this cross-functionality on a day-to-day basis. My team, myself and my team, basically we see this cross-functionality and we strive every day to help better that cross-functionality, help make sure all those gears and spokes are moving in unison with one another. So how do you measure success of operations? Well, naturally, there are metrics to look at. It's a numbers game. Some are factual and some are performance-based. Some of these are related to the specific operations that my team does and some aren't. But ultimately, they all have one common thread. So I can tell you that as a team, we've flown roughly over 1.7 million miles this year in sales and training calls. I can tell you that collectively, we probably spent about 3,400 nights in hotels on those sales and training calls. I know Miguel told me he spent 152 nights to be exact on the road this year. So, and I know there are lots of you guys who are out there doing that every single day. Operation-wise, we send and receive over 10,000 emails in a year. So that's just me and my department. So that's a staggering number to think about. Hopefully it's all needed. I know there are a lot of emails that fly backwards and forwards, but that's kind of the number that we're looking at. Luigi mentioned this number earlier. Year to date, we've processed over 90,000 orders. So kudos to the order entry team, kudos to the sales team for getting those in. Warehouse-wise, on average, we're shipping about 52,000 units per week. Our largest week ever was in August this year, where we shipped 71,000 units. The single largest day, Bill can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was roughly 24,000 units left at warehouse on I think it was the Tuesday of that week. And this is a number that we haven't really talked about yet, but with the repackaging and the launch of our new product lines, we have physically repacked 900,000 units of product this year to make sure that we're getting our new product out into the marketplace. 75 stores. That's the number of stores that Derek has visited in the last 6 months installing new display racks, which you can see in these pictures here. So being part of that execution champion that John talks about, some competitors of ours just ship racks and rely on the customer to put those together. We've taken that struggle out of their hands. We're committing the time and effort and Derek's expertise, sending him into the markets, coordinating with the store managers, coordinating with the sales reps to make sure that the racks are installed within days of them arriving at the location, make sure the product's in the right spot, and making sure that the racks are in visible locations for the mattress departments. As James had mentioned, we've opened 3 brand stores. It's a lot, again, coordination with Derek and Kevin on this. So we're looking forward to expanding this even further. Like we'd mentioned, we've got 2 more slated to open up before the end of the year. In terms of warranty, we handle roughly 1,000 calls per week. We open up about 220 claims. Now that's both the US and Canada. So far this year, we've cleaned 360 mattresses. We've replaced 225 mattresses. That's commitment to our quality control and making sure that we stand true to our promises. We've held 2 national meetings. As fun as these events are, they're very, very taxing to put together. Kudos to the team who's helped me. Shout out to Judy and Mark and Derek, marketing team for putting a lot of the content together. Platinum Events as well, who helps put everything that you see up here together for us. We've also hosted roughly, I think this is the number off the top of my head, 20 customer visits to our office. So that takes a lot of planning, coordination, making sure everything's presentable in the office. I mean, we are a working operation, but making sure the floor is clean enough to eat off of if we need to, making sure that our desks are tidy, making sure that we've got the right travel arrangements. A lot of time and effort and energy goes into those as well. And then just within our facility and the vision, we talk about having a state-of-the-art facility that we come and work at every day. Just this year alone, we've updated our security and fire systems, our alarm systems. We've updated the warranty testing room. We updated all our phone recordings. So those of you who call into the office, I hope you've noticed that. We've installed new doors in the office. We've installed, believe it or not, anti-goose lights on the roof to prevent those guys from migrating and taking up space. And like I said, this is all just to maintain a great working environment for all of us to enjoy. So while these are all amazing metrics, the one common thread that every number that you saw up there, none of this is possible without the people who work in each gear spoke to execute our operational efficiency, excuse me. So in the end, all business operations can be reduced to 3 words: people, product, and profits. Unless you're a good team, you can't do much without the other 2. So that was said by Lee Iacocca. He was one of the heads at GM Motors. He's the man who was basically tasked with making Ford Mustang a success. So he knows a few things about putting good product on the road, but obviously it took his team behind him to make it a reality. So to sum it up, our people are our assets. John and I have had a lot of discussions talking about leveraging your assets. The first and most important asset is everybody in this room today. Okay, so who exactly are the assets in the operations team at Protect-A-Bed? Well, firstly, you've got the warehouse operation. Bill, Dan, Chris, and everybody in there. 25 full-time team members, 10 temp guys, and believe me, those temp guys are just as much a part of the team as everybody else. Some of them have been there for 6, 7, 8 months, helping us transition through. So everybody there is family. The warranty team, you've got Kathy, Eva, Dennis, Roberta, Leon, Joanna, and Andy made it in here. Andy was part of the team as well for a short period of time before, well, not short period, for a period of time before he took on the REM-Fit chat opportunity. We've got Judy, who manages all of the facilities. Everything that happens at our office, Judy's responsible for. And then, of course, you've got Mr. Gene Young as well, who is working on online strategy as well for us. So driving forward operationally towards Vision 2018, how are we going to leverage these assets? Well, firstly, we're going to make sure that we're putting all of our assets in the best position to succeed. Secondly, we're going to rely on the passion of our assets to want to be the best. We will rely on the innovative ideas that our assets present to us, which Annika mentioned and highlighted some of those already today. And then lastly, we're going to rely on the expertise of our assets in their respective departments to help us put us in a position to succeed. By incorporating all of Protect-A-Bed's brand attributes into our daily effort, we'll be able to overcome any curveball, growing pain, or hurdle that is presented to us over the next few years. Operationally, we're going to strive to be the best execution champions we can be. Thank you.